Earthbending, the second elemental bending art in the Avatar cycle, is the geokinetic ability to manipulate Earth in its various forms. Earthbenders are strong and resilient, and known to be often pretty dang stubborn. Today, I'm turning every stone to tell you about the cultural influences that shape the Earth Kingdom, their political structure, and Earthbending itself. I'm Kris Carr. Here's your crash course in Earthbending. Before we begin, I want to give a shout out to all of our patrons on Patreon. Thanks to dudes and dudettes like you, we're able to keep bringing you lore, theories, and more. If you want to help Whitney and I keep our jobs and stay off the streets, donate today! We've got a lot of different tiers with awesome rewards. You can always help by simply liking, subscribing, and hitting that bell so you know exactly when our video's on and when to watch them. Back to bending! Today, I'm giving you an overview of all things Earthbending. If there's anything you want me to go super in depth on, let me know in the comments. And if you've got anything to add, let's start a conversation.
Okay, you ready to give it a try? I'm ready.
Rock beats Airbender.
First, let's cover how the creators of Avatar shaped the Earth Kingdom, its government, and its benders using real-world influences. The Earth Kingdom itself. While the Earth Kingdom is extremely large and diverse, the architecture, clothing, and culture of the Earth Kingdom seem to be based primarily on China. The food, for example, is almost entirely based on Chinese cuisine, showcasing dishes like roasted duck and juk, and Asian porridge.
It's juk. I'm sure you wouldn't like it.
Actually, it smells delicious.
With the exception of Ba Sing Se, Earth Kingdom's clothing is most entirely based on pre-Manchu China. Toph's family wears clothing inspired by the Tang Dynasty, the Earth Kingdom army wears uniforms that are similar to that of the ancient Chinese military, and the many tribes and towns throughout the Earth Kingdom resemble other Asian cultures, such as India, Japan, Korea, and Thailand. We see that influence in the go-to hairstyle of Earth Kingdom men and hipster baristas everywhere, the top knot. The Kyoshi warriors, on the other hand, have a much more Japanese aesthetic, with their face makeup and combat style, particularly the use of their katanas and fans. Ba Sing Se. Ba Sing Se, the capital of Earth Kingdom, is based on ancient Chinese capitals such as Beijing, as the creators were inspired by the idea of an isolated city. It also has significant influences from the Qing Dynasty. The royal palace is largely based on the Forbidden City. It has similar architecture, but the Earth Kingdom's royal palace compound is circular, not square like the Forbidden City.
There it is. That whole thing is the palace. The Earth King's chamber should be in the center.
The outer wall's design and scale is based on the Great Wall of China. The walls of Ba Sing Se are much taller than the actual Great Wall, as the creators wanted to make it feel more massive. Just as the Great Wall is visible from outer space, the Great Walls of Ba Sing Se are also drawn on the maps of the Earth Kingdom.
We need to go to Ba Sing Se, which is here. It looks like the only passage connecting the south to the north is this sliver of land.
The government of Ba Sing Se mirrors that of the Chinese government under the Ming Dynasty. The propaganda and control of information is very similar to the near police state that the dynasty experienced, with total control of the populace through secret police and strict laws. Even the puppet ruler is similar. Kuei, the 52nd monarch of the Earth Kingdom, is a lot like the last emperor of China, Emperor Pu. Obviously, those names ring similar to one another, but even their fashion choices match up, you guys. Look at those circular glasses! Both rulers were completely oblivious to the state of their kingdom and didn't have any actual power. Kuei had never left Ba Sing Se Palace, much like how Puei was kept in the Forbidden City and in the dark of the police state.
It's my job to oversee the rest of the city's resources, including the military.
So the king is just a figurehead.
He's your puppet.
The Dai Li. So, if the king has no real power, who does? Well, that would be the Dai Li, who seem to be based on the Chinese nationalist secret police and their leader, General Dali. That's right, kids! The creators of Avatar were pretty upfront with this parallel, and didn't hide the fact that their secret government shadow group was named after one of China's most infamous spy masters.
And who are the mean-looking guys in robes?
Those men are agents of the Dai Li, the cultural authority of Ba Sing Se. They are the guardians of all our traditions.
Similar to how the Dai Li had a secret base where they brainwashed political prisoners and potentially problematic people, this police force had a prison underneath a lake in China. These systems of prison camps were created by Mao Zedong in order to re-educate those prisoners under communist regime, and they still operate today. So, just some casual political persecution commentary tossed into your kids' show. Who played Nickelodeon?
There is no war within the walls. Here we are safe. Here, We are free.
Origin. Let's go back to the era of Rava. Like I mentioned in my last video about waterbending, the power of Earth was temporarily bestowed upon the inhabitants of a city atop a huge lion turtle. After these dudes and dudettes left the comfort and safety of the lion turtle's back, they learned how to earthbend by watching and copying the geokinetic abilities of badger moles living in the mountains of what is now known as the Earth Kingdom. Oh, now let's talk about some folklore. The legend of the two lovers tells the tale of Oma and Shu, two star-crossed lovers from warring villages who learned how to bend from madger bowls so that they could meet within the mountain that divided their towns. The two lovers met in these caves in secret. However, one day, Shu didn't come to meet Oma because he tragically died as a casualty of yet another needless village squabble. Oma was devastated, and a crazy bit of love-fueled rage and heartbreak ended the village feud. It's like when Maria yells at the end of West Side Story, but effective.
She could have destroyed them all. But instead, she declared the war over. Both villages helped her build a new city where they would live together in peace.
The villages subsequently created a city together, Omashu, as a tribute to the two lovers, the needless loss of life, and a promise of unity into the future. Fighting style. Earthbenders are generally muscular, tough, and direct, and like all benders, their technique reflects their individual personalities. Earthbending differs from other bending arts in that it maintains a distinct balance between offensive and defensive capabilities. Earthbending uses a balance of strength and defense to overwhelm opponents. The Hung Gar style of Kung Fu is the main influence for earthbending. Both feature heavily rooted stances and strong kicks and punches that evoke the mass and power of Earth. Hung Gar itself parallels animal movements, such as the tiger's hard blows and the crane's affinity to landing gracefully to the earth.
You're punching through your opponent's head! So, are you ready to commit to more lessons?
Like anything though, we've got an exception to the rule. And that exception is Toph mother Beifong. Toph's style is based on southern praying mantis, a precise stepping skill in which she uses to maintain constant contact with the ground and sea. Similar to Toph detecting the movements of others through her connection with the earth, a practitioner learns to detect their opponent's upcoming move by maintaining constant contact between their own arm and their foe's arm, maybe also between their hands or wrists. By practicing with a partner in this manner, a practitioner will learn to read the slight movements of their opponent's arms to detect their next attack and subsequently move accordingly to either strike before the attack is made or move in the same direction with the attack and effectively neutralize it. Concepts such as listening, reacting, balancing attacks and defense, and drawing power from a stable lower body are often referred to in this practice of sticky hands, again closely relating to many primary concepts in earthbending.
There are 3 Jings?
Well, technically there are 85, but let's just focus on the third.
The principle of Jing is the essence of battle strategy of all bending arts, with a total of 85 possible actions. Positive Jing occurs when one chooses to fight, while negative Jing is when one chooses to evade. The earthbending discipline stresses neutral Jing, which involves listening, waiting, and attacking at the right moment.
You need to find someone who waits and listens before striking.
Hey, Momo.
Momo's mastered a few jings himself.
Bending itself! As we saw in Avatar: The Last Airbender, earthbending is an incredibly tough process. It's rigid, serious, and demands of people to be very focused. Obviously, earthbenders can move, manipulate, and levitate Earth. But what I personally find super fascinating about earthbending are all the weapons and armor these benders can create, as well as the subsets of this type of bending. Many earthbenders manipulate the earth to become weapons and armor, like rock gloves. The Dai Li have mastered this technique and use it to cover their hands in small rocks and project them. This technique, when refined, can be used to create detachable hands and actually grab and restrain opponents from a distance. The Dai Li also use this to create rock shoes to slide and travel quickly, cling to walls, and suspend themselves from ceilings. And let's just take a moment to mention Toph, who is arguably one of the greatest earthbenders of all time. And yeah, I'm including Boomy in that. Fight me! At only 12 years old, because of her time spent with the Badgermoles, she became incredibly proficient in the art of bending. And how couldn't she when she's hanging out with the OGs of the worldly earthbending?
For them, the original Earthbenders, it wasn't just about fighting. It was their way of interacting with the world.
So sure, the Dai Li, who remember are super powerful government army spies, can wear their cute pebble mittens and shell shoes, but our girl Toph makes a goddamn super suit out of rocks. At 12, she's Tony Quartz! Because Iron Man and Quartz is a kind of rock. I went to college! I earned these highbrow jokes!
Poor Toph. She must be so scared.
You think you're so tough? Why don't you come up here so I can smack that grin off your face?
And side quest, did you know Toph was originally meant to be a huge buff meathead dude in the series? That's right! I love the fact that they ultimately decided against this and designed Toph the way she is. The stereotype of a big, muscly idiot is played out, and turning this compelling character into a 12-year-old blind girl who is decidedly the biggest badass of the group was a game changer. I love that they helped put a light on how our deficiencies can be seen as weaknesses and vulnerability, but are actually a source of great strength, resilience, and pride.
I feel the vibrations in the earth, and I can see where everything is. You, that tree, even those ants.
Now, let's get to all those other aspects of earthbending. Earthbenders, as we saw with Toph, can also bend mud and metal. Metal bending was invented by, again, Toph motherfucking Beifong when she was a preteen. And then she used that skill to train an elite unit known as the Republic City Police.
That statue honors the first metal bender, Toph Beifong, who expanded the possibilities of what benders were capable of.
So to be clear, this blind baby-o grew up to form a full-tilt, no-bullshit police force made up of gifted benders who she probably saw as a bunch of pebble-tossing babies and taught them how to metal bend like her. Toph is so goddamn punk rock.
I am the greatest earthbender in the world! Don't you two dunderheads ever forget it!
We see in the desert that earthbenders are incredible at adapting and learning how to bend sand. And yeah, we don't super like these dudes because they still Appa, but oh my gosh, can we just talk about the resilience of these people? I'm stuck with some wonky earth. I'm gonna make it work. It's like the Sand People and Tim Gunn had a baby.
Wow, you even made a little Earth King in Bosco.
Last, we have lava bending, which, holy shit, is so cool. You guys, when I saw this in Korra, I lost my mind. Moving lava? Tell me something cooler than that. This and so many other reasons is why Korra should get a lot more love, y'all. Of course, this is just some info on Earthbenders, so if there's anything I missed or something you want to know in depth, let me know in the comments below.
Earth is the element of substance. The people of the Earth Kingdom are diverse and strong. They are persistent and enduring.
Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks again to all of our donors, and thank you for watching. Next up is Fire. See you, Space Cowboy.